Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we are talking about some massive news that just came out of the LCS. This has everyone talking about it today. There's a ton of different opinions, a ton of different thoughts on this matter, but it is really interesting. It is really exciting, and it will probably be one of the biggest stories we get in the upcoming weeks, especially during this week. I mean, maybe there's going to be a couple more LCS moves right around the corner, because it seems like every single player in the LCS gets benched, every single player in the LCS gets passed around. But as you guys can see on the screen, Damonte tweeted out, "We are juiced, my guys," and he tweeted out that it's official, the contract gift that every single person tweets out. I think it's a little overdone at this point. I mean, people have been tweeting it forever, but it does let us know that usually some big news is coming, and yeah, we now know what the future has in store for Mr. Damonte, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm, if you guys want to receive exclusive bonus content and videos every single week. With that being said, here we go, getting right into this. So again, Damonte, let us know where he was on the move to. A lot of people were kind of guessing it was going to be maybe McDonald's, maybe CLG, as we heard, you know, they're gonna have some benching, some roster moves and stuff going on. I actually reached out to Damonte and asked him, hey Damonte, I think I said like, where are we dropping or something, trying to go at his like Zoomer humor, and he told me he was going to SKT. So I was hyped up, I was excited. It was interesting to see what was going to happen. But about an hour or so later, the official news came out from CLG when they tweeted, "Roster update, we are making a change in the mid lane. Damonte will be starting for CLG this weekend. Thank you to our fans for continuing to support the team." I didn't see a whole lot of CLG support this past week, but whatever. We're committed to finishing this season strong. Hashtag CLG fighting, and then welcome Damonte. This is actually a pretty cool little graphic they have here. I do like it. And it is very interesting, because I think to a lot of people this is pretty surprising, because when they heard that they were going to be making some roster adjustments, they were going to be benching some people, to me and a lot of other people, that was like, okay, they're going to start investing in some younger talent. They're going to start investing in some academy talent. I mean, look at what FlyQuest just did. FlyQuest just brought up a whole academy team to the LCS and had a 3-0 weekend. CLG is a team that is 5 veterans, and they are struggling. They're one of the worst teams in the LCS. They are bad right now, and they're going to be bad into the foreseeable future, because they have veterans who aren't playing well together, and they don't have anyone young and up and coming. And I also believe that the CLG Academy team is one of the worst Academy teams in the LCS as well. So CLG is just an absolute dumpster fire right now. They're an absolute mess. It's crazy, but whatever. But what they decided to do instead was bring in Damonte, who is a very popular player, got a big fan base, big personality. People are excited to see this guy back, but many people aren't really expecting this to be a massive upgrade. Like, is Damonte better than Pobelter? Maybe sometimes, maybe on the right team, but maybe not. Maybe it's a downgrade, maybe it's a side grade, who really knows? Either way, it's I mean, Damonte is a veteran at this point. He's an established player who you pretty much know what you're getting with. Yes, he is a solid North American mid, but at this point, is he even one of the better North American mids? Now that we have guys like Insanity, a Blaze Olive, you know, these new guys kind of popping off, doing pretty well, Damonte's not really that North American mid laner that you need anymore. So on one hand, I think it's interesting, because CLG has gotten a ton of backlash, a ton of hate, a ton of negative attention recently, and now they're going out and getting a pretty popular player, a guy that a lot of people will be excited to see back in the LCS, but also a guy that, you know, people also aren't going to be excited to see back in the LCS, because it's just kind of passing around the same players again. A player who most recently LCS just was not that good in his time with 100 Thieves. You know, he was decent, he was solid, but he was just not good enough. And for a team trying to build for the future, I don't know. You know, I think Damonte's fine. Again, I really like him as a person. I think he's cool. I think he's funny. I think he's interesting. I think he is what more LCS players should strive to be. But as a mid laner, I just don't think he cuts it. I do not think, you know, he is necessarily the mid laner that I would want my team to be building around for the future. And again, if CLG is making this move for this season, they're going to try something next offseason, I still think that's weird. Because is even Damonte an upgrade for this season? I don't really know. I don't really think so. So I don't know. This whole move is just kind of a head scratcher for me. Yes, CLG did something, but this is just another instance of, I think, poor management, poor decision making from them. They really did just kind of did nothing. So you know, they're talking about, oh, we're gonna make some roster changes, guys, blah 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 blah, whatever, and then they just don't really do anything. So whatever. But Damonte did tweet out, I'm back, faith in the Tanner, let's go. He's got the CLG memes going. He said he's fucking juice, fuck the haters, we're going to do our best to make playoffs. And that's another thing, CLG has a realistic shot of making the playoffs, maybe pulling off an upset or two, who knows, because it is a very, honestly, a decently talented team. Finn, Broxa, Wild Turtle, these are guys who have had success in the LCS and in the LEC before, so they could make something happen if they're able to right the ship at the right time, especially with 8 teams making the playoffs in the LCS. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to do our best to make playoffs. That's just getting top 8, I hope so. I did think that this guy's response was funny. He said, another washed up that got a contract just because his region is pure trash and can't develop its players. Shitty orgs thinking import players is the best choice to build a roster. Dead region, by the way. And Damonte hit him with the ratio plus you're mad. But I just think it was funny because there was a lot of response on both times. A lot of people being like, Tanner, I'm glad, I'm happy, it's Tanner time, let's go. But then also a lot of people saying exactly what I'm saying. CLG, what are you doing? Like, why? What does this move? What is going on? But I also can't imagine that this is the end of the CLG roster moves. If they did that whole speech, if they had that whole Bud Light fiasco, debacle, whatever you want to call it, just to trade out Pobelter for Damonte, like, oh my gosh, that would be so crazy, so maddening. I still would not be surprised if we see a change for maybe Smoothie, maybe Wild Turtle, maybe Broxa. I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing, what they're planning, because I don't really even know who their options are, because again, from what I see, their academy team sucks. I don't really know how many other veteran options there are out there, but it seems like they might do something. But honestly, the whole, out of this whole situation, the big winner, the big tweet of the day came from Mr. Pobelter himself. He did get benched, and then he did tweet out, just got Bud Light aced. With a can of Bud Light, again, making fun of, obviously, their sponsored video, talking about benching the whole team and firing all the players and getting a Bud Light sponsorship in there. Hopefully, Pobelter got a nice little paycheck for this one. He did get Bud Light ace. It does suck for him. Might be the last we see of Pobelter in the LCS, honestly. Everyone thinks he will make a very, very good coach someday. He's obviously a very smart guy who has a very, very good mind, seems to be decent at communicating. But again, we've seen him around the league for a while. And this is just another opportunity where he's looked decent on CLG. He's been fine, but he's just not really, that exciting. He's not really. I don't really see another team maybe going out and taking a chance on him. But we'll have to see how that goes. You never know. I didn't think we would see Damonte back in the LCS again, but it just seems like these North American mid laners keep popping up. They keep finding opportunities. They keep finding chances. Next up for CLG on Friday, I do actually believe is against Cloud9, which a lot of people are saying is hilarious because Damonte, one of his last games on 100 Thieves was against Perks, where Perks bodied him, flamed him, called him out, all this stuff, and that kind of led to the whole benching of Damonte in the first place. So really everything does come full circle, but the big news coming out of the LCS today, Pobelter is benched, Pobelter is kicked. I don't really know what the future has in store for him, and Damonte is back in the LCS. Damonte is on CLG, and he will be starting this weekend. Pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below. Do you like this move from CLG? Do you hate it? Do you just not really care at all? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. Consider checking out my Patreon. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!